Speakers and they'll just turn off. They'll just turn it off. We are getting
Not that you're not busy.
I think I'll just get that. Well, that did some of this stuff.
Let's keep going.
Yeah, I've got 11 o'clock this morning. I did. Our implementation specialist, I really like, I keep finding it out. Yeah. Within 30 seconds. I want to do it. Drop right off. Okay. It is a
Scott?
Hey.
spares.
Yeah.
I'll try to get 3 spares.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
How you doing, Mr. Steve?
Hey.
It says,
She's not saying, yeah.
I said the table, take the chair there.
Give you one. Want a chair?
You gotta have one.
No, I don't sit down.
This year?
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Supervisors meeting for Monday, June 8th. Let's start with the pledge of allegiance.
Rise.
is that the Board of Supervisors met in executive session on Friday, May 27th at 2 p.m. to discuss legal matters. The fourth announcement, at the end of the agenda, there are rules of conduct for public meetings for speaking, and if everybody would just take a look at that before coming to the microphone, it would be great. Next, we'll move to open forum on action items. If there's any items on the agenda that anybody would like to speak on, if you could just announce your name and your address and come to the microphone.
You might want to give them a minute to review the,
Oh,
I'll give you a minute to review the conduct. And then see if there's any other votes.
Not everybody has papers of their rules of conduct.
We ran out of agendas.
Good.
Yeah, I have 10 copies.
Can you just verbally go through them then?
Sure, we'll go through them.
okay, so
All right, so the rules shall apply to the conduct of all public meetings held by the board, commission, and committees of Honeybrook Township. 1, the chairperson, or in his or her absence, the vice chair or other appointed individual shall preside over all meetings of the board, commission, and committees. The presiding officer shall control the order of business and conduct of the meeting, including but not limited to public comment from township residents and taxpayers. 2, prior to taking any official action on items appearing on the agenda, the presiding officer shall provide a reasonable opportunity for residents and or taxpayers of Honeybrook Township to make comments, limited to the matters under consideration, subject to the procedures set forth below in Item 4. Number 3, reasonable opportunity for public comment for non-action items and matters of concern, official actions or deliberations not appearing on the agenda for residents and or taxpayers of Honeybrook Township shall be held at each advertised meeting of the boards, commissions, and committees, subject to the procedures set forth below in Item 4. The comment period shall be limited to a total of 30 minutes inclusive of all speakers. Number 4, the presiding officer shall preside over all public comments and may, at his or her own discretion, 1, recognize individuals wishing to offer comment. B, require identification by name and address of each individual wishing to make comment. 3, allocate available time among all individuals wishing to comment. 4, interrupt or terminate a person's statement when the statement is too lengthy, personally directed, abusive, obscene, irrelevant to township business, scandalous, impertinent, or redundant of other comments, or any comment the discernible purpose of which is to disrupt or prevent the conduct of the business of the meeting. E, request individuals to leave the meeting room in township building or direct the removal by township personnel if individuals engage in loud, boisterous, unruly, disorderly, offensive, or threatening speech or conduct after being verbally warned from the presiding officer. And F, end the public comment period at any time when the lack of public decorum so interferes with the orderly conduct of the meeting as to warrant such action. Number 5, the time allotted to each individual making a comment shall be 3 minutes and 3 minutes only. You cannot go back and sit down and come back up. 6, all statements shall be directed to the presiding officer, that is the chairperson, or their designated party. No participant may address or question the board, commission, committee, or township staff. 7, the presiding officer may recognize and permit at his or her discretion non-residents and non-taxpayers of the township to make public comment. 8, in the event that there is not sufficient time for public comment, the presiding officer may defer the public comment period to the next regular meeting of the board, commission, or committee. Now that I've gone over that, I believe we've given enough time if anybody would like to speak. Anybody else who wishes to speak?
so the agenda, one of the agenda items is, the expectation for the decorum for the public comment, correct?
No, it's not.
So we don't get to make any comments about what's on this agenda, about public comment.
Correct.
Interesting.
Is there an agenda?
Yes. Can you make some more copies, please?
Do we,
I can, yes.
Can you please? How many people would require an agenda?
I'm sorry. We can only comment on what's on the agenda.
There's two items, two
Okay.
opportunities to speak.
So-
One is on agenda items, the other is on any matter.
Gotcha.
And that's
So the
Okay,
agenda
that was-
item comment period is first.
Thank
It's
you.
always been that way, with public comment for items not on the action item list as directed on the agenda which you'll receive in a minute.
No, only on the agenda. Then, after everything I get figured through, you have your chance to speak whatever you want to say, is what I'm. Put your mindset back to school. Now, I did ask John about the three. I did ask John about the 3 minutes, and he told me that, if there was enough time and not like 50 million people standing behind you, that, you can go sit down and then come back up. You're saying not.
Well, I was corrected because what happened was we did have a resolution before, and that's what was in the resolution, but that resolution was rescinded, so that's why this was put in place. I was wrong on the fact that you had a chance to come back a second time.
Oh, okay, okay. Now,
So we're not at the question and answer period yet.
I'm just trying to go through the rules.
Okay, they'll speak for themselves.
Okay. Get my lawyer.
This lady, could be, there's a bargaining force or something, give them the wrong.
You can wait till the agenda. I forget what this is on the agenda.
All right.
Please pass them down.
Okay, Laura, if you're ready to move on.
Next we'll move to the consent agenda.
Point of order, we did not receive items 7 or 10, so I would suggest a motion to accept items 1 through 6 and items 8 and 9.
Do I have your motion? One second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next we'll move to department reports. Don Johnson.
Chris, you have to-
I will be reporting on behalf of Don. Allow me to catch up. The roads crew completed the spot seal coating on May 16 and 17. And current projects include fixing the horse and buggy tracks on Beaver Dam Road with hot mix, cutting brush on various roads, and cutting back growth at intersections to improve the sight distance. Additionally, a second round of mowing ditches and banks has begun. So we're on the second round of who knows how many, depending on how much rain we get. And that is all.
Thank you. Next report, proceed.
Thank you. Due to the timing of the June calendar, the Brook Community Partnership has not met yet this month, but will meet next Tuesday. The only update is that a few of the grants have been announced for those assisting with Harmony Day, which is scheduled for September 17. Everybody mark your calendars. For the supervisors' benefit, the Pennsylvania State Association of Township Supervisors, or PSATs, fall regional forums have been announced. All of you got a postcard in your mailbox in the office. Let us know if you're interested in attending. There is not a session in Chester County this year, but there's one in Lancaster and one in Montgomery County on different dates. So you get to pick which one fits best. And it's a day-long session, just one day. It's not a long one like the PSAT's conference was. Please note that there will not be a Board of Supervisors workshop in July. Workshops will resume in the fall during the 2023 budgeting process. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Next report, Warren Levensky, Township Manager.
I just ask that you accept the report as submitted and is available as copies on the back. If there's any questions of the supervisors, I'll be happy.
Next, Land Preservation Committee.
Yeah, we have a, next meeting will be in August. Nothing currently on the agenda, so next meeting will be third Tuesday, is it?
Yes, August. Yes, August 16.
Thank you. Next, Planning Commission.
I will be reporting for the Planning Commission tonight. There were no agenda items for May, and no formal plans have been submitted for June. So unless a sketch plan comes in the next few days, it is entirely possible that the Planning Commission meeting for June will be canceled. But we're not quite there yet, but just keep an eye out.
Thank you. Next is Recreation and Parks Board.
It's me again. There was not a quorum at the May meeting, so Park and Rec did not meet. Their next meeting is scheduled for next week. And just a reminder, the Board of Supervisors will be recognizing the 10-year anniversary of this incarnation of the Rec and Park Board at the July 13 regular meeting. It'll be 10 years.
Thank you. Next, we'll move on to new business. First item is the payment of all invoices as prepared by the treasurer. Do I hear a motion to approve those invoices?
I'll make a motion to approve the payment.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next is an extension of time for Tri-County Investments Land Development Plan number 2022-3, 2110 Twin County Road, tax parcel number 22-4-63.1.
Just to note, because it did not appear in the text of the item, the extension of time is to September 22nd, 2022, so that would be reflected in the motion.
September 22nd.
Yes.
Do I hear a motion to,
I make a motion to grant.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
The next item, Penguin Chestnut LP Stages 2 and 3, Chestnut Ridge parcels 22-8-52.5 and 22-8-52.4. This is a release number 7 in the amount of $163,253. Would you like to hear a motion?
I'll make the motion to release.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The next item, a partial financial release for Honeybrook Estates, 3531 Horseshoe Pike, parcel 22-7-49.1E, in the amount of $170,704.90.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we'll move to old business. Continuation of discussion for anyone in Jennersville hospital closures.
So we were notified today by the executive director of Elverson Honeybrook EMS that Tower Health Medic 93, which is our advanced life support unit that assists this location out here, they're going to be closing operations in Count Township and Penn Township. They're going to be breaking down through September 1st. There's actually a benefit as they're going to, currently they have an ALS with a single provider, so they only provide ALS on site and then ride with the ambulance. The new rigs will actually have a transport capability, so they will now essentially double the amount of services we have. They are actually going to be putting their second transport unit at Honeybrook Station. So we'll have one in Elverson and one. So we'll have our standard 2 basic life support ambulances with the crews by Honeybrook Elverson EMS, and then we'll have a second set of ambulances that are ALS capable that will have a medic and most likely an AMT at both our locations. And that is going to be going through soon. There is still no update on the closures of Brandywine and Jennersville, except that what we spoke about last time is that the Chester County commissioners are hopeful that they're going to find some type of solution in the near future, but there has been nothing outside of that.
Thank you. Next, we'll move to open forum for any other matters anybody would like to speak about. Anybody on this right side here?
Yeah, a couple of things. In addition to this, these rules for public conduct, I would appreciate if there were also rules for conduct of the Board of Supervisors and any other committee members, making sure that they show respect to the public that show up. That's really all we're asking. The other item, I guess, John, as the chair, I need to address this to you. We talked about this the other day. As there's an increase in gas prices and cars and all of that stuff, and a number of residents have been voicing some concerns about traffic. Would the township be willing to set aside any parking spots, say in the park or at the township municipal building for any kind of ride share program? Not that you guys would have to oversee any ride share program, but would they be available for people to, leave their car here during the day when they go to work?
So you can reach out to me and I can definitely help you out with facilitating it.
And for clarification, Laura is actually the
Yeah,
chair.
share this, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought John was. Okay, thanks.
Is there anybody else on this side of the room? Anybody on the other side?
Could you start with your name and your address, please?
Sure. My name's Holly Clark, and I live in Village Green at 328 Kemper Drive. And I'm here just to alert you to the fact that our builder, Sam Nemrock, has not finished our development yet. And we were one of the last in phase 3 that moved in December 2020. We were actually the first house, our townhouse that was completed at that time. We still have a lot of landscaping to be finished behind our house, and I have pictures if you want to see them. We need regrading finished and landscaping finished, and I'm one of many houses that are included in that area. We personally have a township permit already for a deck to be placed on the back of our house, but we can't do that because of the massive runoff and the rivulets that are running down through the back of our house, that it's just prohibitive for us to put a deck on at this time. So we were hoping that you could help us push this along, since the development is finished structurally, but it is not finished with some of the landscaping and other issues I think some of you might be aware of if you've walked our property before. So I'm just bringing it to you tonight to see if you could help us, because I don't know where else to go. We've requested, we've emailed the builder, and we are not really getting much in response. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Karen, Dr. Forrest, 2287 Horseshoe Place. Question. How, does this go to zoning or to another board about, like, my parcel of land and my neighbor's was originally residential and then it was switched over to commercial? Who switches the zoning from one, like, say, from agricultural to residual to, you understand what I'm saying? Because I was never notified, and here I find out I'm now in a, what is it? Commercial?
Yeah.
We are now in commercial zoning. When I bought that land 20 years ago, it was residential land. So who?
Just briefly, so the rezoning of land is done by the Board of Supervisors. That's a legislative action. I don't know the time of when that particular with regard to your property would have occurred, but a zoning map change is advertised through public advertisements as required under state law. But if it's a comprehensive rezoning where the map for the whole township is redone, there's not specific notice delivered, to your doorstep of every parcel. If they were just rezoning a few pieces of land, they're required to provide that very specific notice.
And should I receive some kind of notice?
I don't know the details of your property
But
and when that change may have occurred, so that's why I'm saying it depends if it was sort of a broad changing of the districts, in which case the township wouldn't have been required to mail something to every single person. It gets advertised in the newspaper and in other legal publications. It has to be posted, but that is the sort of formal legal notice that goes to the public of that action.
But as far as me being a landowner, should I have gotten some kind of a notice?
It depends upon the context, is what I'm saying, and I don't know the answer about when this rezoning was done to really give you that answer today.
I have a sneaking suspicion it was part of the 2018 overhaul of the zoning ordinance. The entire zoning ordinance was rewritten in 2018.
And at that time, individual notices weren't required. So if that was when it was done, it would not have gone specifically.
But now they're required.
No. There's different rules depending upon the type of rezoning.
Okay. Also, I don't know if anybody else here is getting, but since this BOS Horton situation has come up, I have gotten at least 50, if not more, letters, phone calls, emails, texts about selling my property. Is there a way that I can get that stuff from happening? Yes, I know my 3 minutes is up. Can I stop these people from harassing me about selling my property?
That wouldn't be a township matter, ma'am.
Call the police.
What, please? Okay, thank you. People are calling me.
sir. Good evening, Paul Hayden, 124 Greason Road, Honey Brook. Who's the presiding officer?
Laura Birdie.
Okay, that's who it says we direct to. We can't ask anybody else. That's the only reason I'm asking. Does the township have an official floodplain boundary map?
The official floodplain.
Floodplain boundary map.
I don't know what that is. We have floodplain zones that FEMA
Correct.
has.
But does our township have an official map, like we have an official zoning map?
Do we have an overlay?
An official floodplain map? According to Section 401 of the Pennsylvania Municipalities Planning Code, every township is supposed to have, create, or revise an official map.
We have it here in the office. You are
We do,
welcome
that's-
to come in and look at it.
That's all I wanted to know. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Is it up to date?
It is the most recent revised version that was issued to us.
Okay. So you wouldn't know. I'll come in and look at it. Thank you. Appreciate that. Second thing. So 20%. Would you say 20% is a big number? If someone gave you a 20% raise, would you think that was pretty substantial? Okay. So I want to just express my disappointment in the zoning board. So we had meetings, I know Mr. McHugh was at a few, I don't know if anybody else attended any of those hearings. 20% is the traffic increase on Chestnut Tree Road and 322. That I gave testimony and proof through my testimony that it would increase. So the zoning board said that wasn't enough, that I don't understand why 20%, they still granted the special exception. Even though 20% traffic on those roads, as all of you know, I think all of you know, is a lot. So I just didn't understand that. So 20% more traffic means 20% more accidents. The fire department has more response time. The police response time is awful. So I think we gave the zoning board plenty of evidence to vote no. So they voted yes, even though they looked at the camera and said they wanted to vote no. But Charles Hawes, the solicitor, said he would not win at appeal. How did he know they were in appeal? He didn't want to spend the money on an appeal that he didn't even know they would appeal. So that was his decision to allow the townhomes to be built. And I only have 3 minutes, and I'm sorry, I just wanted to press my...
Anyone who is a party to the hearing can appeal.
I understand that. So instead of having D.R. Horton appeal it, he forced us to have to try to appeal it. We have little means. We're not going to be able to appeal it.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else have any additional comments?
I do. Hello?
Could you state your name and your address, please?
Yes, I am Maureen McHugh. I've been on Zoom, so there are people on Zoom, so somebody keeps muting us, but we are here. I just wanted to say that.
Do you have your address, please?
Yes, 116 Stimson Drive.
All right, you have 3 minutes, but please.
So I just wanted to say the CR Court has seen a lot of legal documents against them as being poor builders. So there's a concern that I have, not living too far from there, that perhaps they're a bad builder, they've been shoved through, they've been approved with all of this stuff, not even knowing the latest flooding plans. I guess we need to look into that. I just have some concerns of who's approved this again. I'm sorry, I'm kind of late to the game. Who's approved this builder to put in these, what is it, over 500 homes, I believe? Where the traffic is already horrific.
The entire project is not approved. They received zoning approval to have townhouses as part of the project. That is what they have received so far. They still have other approval processes before the township and other outside agencies that they have to go through.
I guess thank God for that gentleman who just spoke about the floodplains, that hopefully is updated. If not, I guess the township needs to make sure it's the most updated. That would be their obligation. But just to understand what the traffic is going to be, and I don't know how many deaths you need to put a light there, and I know there's all statistics around that. However, I hope it's not someone I know and love. But there's already at that intersection, and I'm just wondering how this got to this point with so much right there. I have major concerns about people that are in office right now, and I would like to, I guess, look into that further of who maybe is disengaged and not committed to this community. Very concerning.
Thank you for your comments. Anyone else?
Hi, I'm Jack Clark, 328 Kemper Drive, that's my wife. So when we talked about our project, our townhome community at Village Green being completed, I think the last folks that moved in 6 months ago, approximately. Is it my understanding that the township is holding a bond in order for him to complete the work that he's supposed to complete?
Yes, there is a financial security that the township is still holding.
Okay, so, like, for example, my wife talked about runoff and our home not being regraded. There's a bunch of them in our section not regraded. I mean, when it rains, my sump pump runs constantly, just constantly. My neighbor has dug trenches in the dirt to try and get the water to run away from his home. So there's that, there's this waste area that's supposed to be redone. There's the whole complex is supposed to be repaved. My question for all this is, when's he going to do it? We don't have a date. All we ever get is, spring, summer. That was last year's comment and this year's comment. So at what point in time does that money get forfeited and he loses it and we can get somebody else to do it? That's my question.
There are requirements under the state municipalities planning code that give the township the ability to do that at certain points in time. I'm not aware of the specifics of the timing on this particular project, and there are agreements that the developer has with the township that relate to the financial security the township's holding. So that is a remedy that the township could pursue when it's at the appropriate time. I don't know the details of this particular project and where we stand on those timeframes. But if and when that time comes, the township certainly has the ability to take that action.
Okay. I appreciate that. My boss always told me, get a date. We just need a little bit more of a concrete answer, because every time we as neighbors get together, we're all asking the same question. When's all this going to be done? And meanwhile, he's doing other projects.
You're welcome to contact the office, and Warren and the staff can look into that.
Okay, thanks so much.
Anyone else? Yes.
Yes, Jerome J. Juro, 2297 Bushy Pike. I want to ask all you guys up here about the possible environmental impact of that land that you have natural gas and liquid gasoline going through that parcel. If that guy goes in there and swales that water the wrong way and those pipes shift, who is going to be responsible for all the contaminated water? And possible, if they widen that Chestnut Tree Road, who is going to pay for redigging those pipes that are buried that well? Who's going to pay for that? Or are you going to have them cough up $500,000 ahead of time for possible problems down the road for us neighbors here? Did anybody check into that?
Candidly, the project isn't really at that place yet because
Yeah, but-
nothing has come to the township for any consideration at this point.
But what I'm asking is, these people here are having problems with their project and it's not even in the wetlands. What are you gonna do when we're in the wetlands? That's my question and my concern. Like, these people here, how long are you gonna string them along? Or that builder's gonna string them along? That's my concern, because there's a lot of stuff that goes on in all these townships that everything's put back on the people. And it's like, that's not fair. We pay enough taxes in this community that we need our back watched. That's why we're here today, because everybody just was asleep for all these years, and then all of a sudden now, it's like, now it's coming to traffic. Look at what they're doing down the road there. They're scalping all that land on the right down there on 322, more building. And then you talk about global warming? Come on, really? That's my concern. But the environmental concern with that gas pipeline going through there, it's not buried that deep. Did anybody talk to the pipeline people? I think somebody didn't do their homework. That's my opinion. And we have concerns. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Question for a second.
What's that?
A second question from someone.
It's real quick, and it's basically my thing here. You all have the board of supervisors meetings for, I guess, months, right? You know, I've been here for years. Nobody was really coming to the meetings, correct? You know, I'm trying to stir up people to get more involved in their community and help out and do things and such. Look out for our community, look out for our fellow neighbors, you know, kind of stuff. But, you know, I'm not feeling the love. You know, I'm feeling ambushed. You know, we need to work together. And it's like, okay, I'm ready to jump, it's like, the Indians are against me. And that's the way I feel. I can't come up here to tell you how I truly feel, if it's longer than 3 minutes. Now, if I had 50 people behind me, I could understand that. Truly. I wouldn't want to do that. But if it takes 5 minutes longer, that's a big deal. Or if I have a question, I shouldn't be saying, well, it's self-explanatory. I'm not a genius, okay? I'm new to this. I need stuff stated to me on layman's terms. You want to talk medical? I'll throw some medical terms at you. You know, this is all new to us. And I think we have more people here than we've had, you know, way before. But, you know, I'm trying to trump up, you know, and do that. And I think this is all feeling ambushed. And that's just all I have to say.
We have a motion to adjourn the meeting. If there's no other comments.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All right, I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody, for coming.
I'm taking a food back.
We do have some upcoming meetings. June 16th is Parks and Rec Board. June 23rd is the Planning Commission, assuming it goes forward. July 6th, workshop meeting's been canceled, and the next supervisors meeting is July 13th, which will also mark the 10-year anniversary of the Rec and Park Board. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Temporary township, but that is